So I've been living in Rio for a month and a half, working from here remotely. I've been staying right in between the Ipanema and Copacabana neighborhoods, and I'm gonna talk about what are a few things that I've loved about being a digital nomad from Rio, and a few things that are not so great. Very few digital nomads actually come to Rio compared to all the other popular destinations, and I can see that on YouTube there's very few videos about it. I personally have loved it here. I was almost not going to come here, mainly because of safety issues, but I'll talk more about it. Before starting on the actual list, acai. So while Rio might not have a lot of options of co-working spaces like you might have in a popular digital nomad place like Mexico City, I think personally it's good enough, especially in Ipanema and Copacabana. There's at least like 5 or 6 decent co-working spaces. So since I'm staying in Arpoador, which is right in between Copacabana and Ipanema, I went to this co-working space called Flux. I paid about $100 for a month, and it was perfect, honestly. Like the Wi-Fi speed was great. Yeah, this is the co-working space I used to go to. I'll put in the link for them. Pretty decent space. I also have a couple of WeWorks here. The WeWorks are in the center of the city though. So the first downside of Rio is safety, for sure. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that. I don't think it's overblown. It is definitely unsafe, but I think you just have to understand which neighborhoods are safe, which ones are not, what you can do, what you can't do. So the first day I arrived, since I'm staying in this neighborhood, I talked to the police and asked them, hey, what kind of robberies happen here? And he said the biggest thing you have to be aware of is, like, don't walk around with your phone. Like, no one's gonna show up with a gun in these neighborhoods and take everything. Mostly it's like snatching, petty snatching of phones. Just like this, my GoPro that I'm holding in my hand, that can be snatched at any point of time. It's not recommended to hold your GoPro and walk around either. But walking around with your laptop in a bag, if people don't know what's in there, no one's gonna come take it. So yeah, walking back and forth here was totally fine. So I'd say if you're coming here to work, the 3 or 4 safe neighborhoods I'd stay in is Ipanema. Honestly, Copacabana doesn't feel as safe to me as Ipanema. I hear Barra da Tijuca is another safer neighborhood, and Botafogo is another neighborhood that's up and coming, and there's a lot of, you know, young people who go and live there. After my acai, I'm gonna have some cappuccino. I'm at this coffee shop called Cafe Zam. Maybe this is a bonus downside of Brazil. Cappuccino in Brazil is always sweet. So if you're a cappuccino person, it's very hard to find the real cappuccino. But this place, Cafe Zam, they have the real deal. So the first thing that I love about Rio is the nature. Rio is known for its beaches, and I'll definitely show you the beach that I live right next to, but check this out. There's a national park right next to the city of Rio. Like, you can get here within 20 to 30 minutes from Ipanema. I'm gonna go check out a waterfall today. There's just so many different hikes, forests, viewpoints, beaches, just like infinite amount of things to do. Like, even if you live here for years, you can never run out of things to do. It looks so cute. Such a big waterfall. You can just come here, bathe, and this is in the National Park of Tijuca. And if it's like a really sunny day, you can get away from the sun, hang out in the forest. So beautiful. So apparently this is the tallest waterfall in the whole Tijuca National Park. Very easy to get to. It's only 300 meters from the entrance. So here we are at the Rock of Arpoador. This is the best place in Rio to watch the sunset. My favorite beach is Ipanema. One, because I live 1 minute from the beach. And this is Arpoador, where people watch the sunset. You can come surf in the mornings. And look at this view. Okay, so my second favorite thing about Rio is the food. And this is because my expectations in Latin America is usually very low, outside Peru and Mexico. And Rio, and in general Brazil, surprised me. Especially, my favorite thing about Brazil is the buffet. Look at this. This is probably the most overpriced buffet in town, but look at this. You have so many options, and usually I pay $10 to eat a bunch of salads, a lot of different varieties of meat, rice, beans. If you like Japanese food, I think outside Japan, Brazil has the best Japanese food. Let's check it out. Okay, so today I'm paying $12 for my food. It's more expensive than normal. So compared to countries like Colombia, food in Brazil is tastier, a lot more variety. And then the buffet system is just amazing because you can just eat a bit of everything. I know this is Indian food, there's amazing Brazilian food, but the good thing is you have food options from all over the world. Most Brazilian cities, the food is really boring. You just get Brazilian or Japanese or Italian. Here you can actually get food from all over the world. Downside number 2, that it is expensive compared to a lot of Latin American cities. Things are not cheap here, like, especially when you live in these areas like the south of Rio. Like an average meal will cost you at least $10 US at a restaurant. Like even a buffet place is like $10 US. You can go as cheap as $6 or $7 US, but then on average, if you go to good restaurants, you can go up to like $15, $20, which is more expensive than digital nomad hubs in, say, places like Vietnam, Colombia, even Mexico, I would say. The Airbnb that I have here, I'm paying $1,700. You could probably get something cheaper if you go away from the beach in Copacabana, Botafogo. So I think at minimum, you're gonna look at $1,000 here to get like a studio at least on Airbnb. Also, the other expensive part of Brazil is flights. So in Brazil, you gotta buy your flights at least a month or two in advance, because if you buy last minute, even to fly from Rio to, let's say, Florianopolis, you can be paying like $400 US. Remember, I bought my Recife to Floripa ticket like last minute. I paid $400, which is the same amount I paid from Rio to New York, New York to Miami, Miami to Recife. So it's wild. Like Brazilian flight prices are really, really high. So the third thing that I love about Rio is that compared to most Latin American cities, it's very walkable. Would I compare it to like European cities? No. I think south area like Ipanema, Copacabana are pretty walkable. And I like that because, you know, I love staying at an Airbnb and being able to walk to my co-working space, walk for lunch, you know, supermarkets, etc. So that to me is another big plus of Rio de Janeiro. And again, just a reminder, in this area, walking is pretty safe for the most part. Would I walk around at night with my GoPro? Probably not. Also, when it comes to walkability, it's not just like supermarkets and beaches that you can walk to. Like even if you want to work out, like different gyms, CrossFit, dance classes, there's everything in Copacabana and Ipanema. And you can mostly walk or bike to most of them. So they have like the city bikes here that cost about $7 per month. That's very, very reasonable. And you can use it unlimited number of times. Each time you use it, you can use it for like an hour and a half, so that's perfect. Also, if you love lively places, it's like never dead in Rio. Like there's always something going on. Like, look at this, I don't even know what this is. There's just a long line of people, and yeah, it's amazing. Like for example, in other bigger Brazilian cities that I've been to, like the beach is never this lit. And yeah, the third thing that I love about Rio, and this applies to all of Brazil, is the people. And again, I've been to a lot of Latin American countries. One thing that surprised me about Brazil is how polite the people are. With cities as big as Rio, I thought, you know, you're just gonna, like in any big city in the world, you know, like New York City, you always come across rude people. And this just never happens in Brazil. Like for me, I think maybe coming from Toronto, my tolerance is very high, and Brazilians tell me that, you know, people in Rio are not as nice and they're more rude, but I've never felt it. Like I've been here for 6 weeks. I don't think even once I felt like an Uber driver or someone at a restaurant or any situation I just didn't have where someone was being rude to me. Like even if you go to like a nightclub, the bouncers are very nice. Like everyone's always, like people are just very relaxed. And for me personally, I even felt that in São Paulo. Like if you ask Brazilians, they'll be like, oh my God, like São Paulo and Rio people are just so rude. But coming from a place like Canada, yes, Canada, people are way nicer here. Like day to day, like people are smiling, giving you a thumbs up. For example, the thing that I always see here is like, let's say on the beach, there's a lot of people who come and sell you stuff. No one is ever rude to them. Like they let you complete whatever you're saying before saying very nicely that, hey, I don't want it, thank you so much. And like no one ever like shushes them away, which is something I see in Asia a lot. Like someone comes to sell you something, you're just like, no, go away. While here, like people are very nice about it. And I love that about Brazil. O que é coisa melhor sobre o Rio?
Os lugares. A praia. São os melhores lugares.
Mas as pessoas também, eu gosto das pessoas do Rio.
Sim, sim.
É muita gente bonita.
É muita gente bonita.
Muita gente bonita.
Só tem gente bonita. Eu não acho que tem muitas coisas ruins. Eu acho que só a segurança não é É inseguro até pra gente que é carioca. As coisas são bem caras. Pra gringo é tudo mais caro. Morar na melhor cidade do mundo deixa a gente feliz, sério.
So you see, the people in Rio think they live in the best city in the world, and I cannot disagree, because apart from safety and cost, there's very few things you can talk bad about this city. Most people don't speak English in Brazil. Even in Rio, a lot of people won't speak English. So it's 5:30 in the morning, my last day in Rio. I have a flight in like 6 hours. And you know, another thing I absolutely love about Rio is there's so much to do. Even on my last day, I'm going on a sunrise tour on a paddleboard. Like, compared to any other city I've been to, like, you never run out of activities to do here. And there's always something new to try, something new to explore. It's just absolutely amazing. The sun is about to rise, and look at the sheer amount of people here. It's amazing. Yeah, so quite an experience just standing on the water, watching the sunrise at 5. Look at this beautiful city. I'm gonna miss it so much. It's just amazing that the same city has everything, like everything you need. You want to live a healthy lifestyle, there's hiking, surfing. You want to go party, there's like some of the best parties in the world. So finally we see the sunrise. It's a bit cloudy today, so we didn't see the sunrise slowly with the orange color. So after an hour, a little bit more than an hour, just making our way back. Final thoughts on Rio to close this video out. I think Rio is a heavily underrated destination for digital nomads. It is a destination that is getting more popular, especially, you know, when I go to events here, I meet a lot of digital nomads coming to Rio. Overall, the internet in Rio is pretty manageable, like more than manageable, I'd say. Like, for example, at my Airbnb, I have 100 Mbps internet. Even at the co-working spaces, over 100 Mbps. And it's been pretty consistent, never had problems with the internet. The cost, a little more expensive than most of Latin America, but you know, you get what you pay for. Like living 2 minutes away from one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Actually, it was voted the second most beautiful beach in the world. That comes with a price. You can live in Botafogo instead of Ipanema, for example, if you want to save money on Airbnb. And yeah, the main reason why people don't come in the end is safety, which I understand. Like, in no way I would say Rio is safe. Like, any local I've talked to, they say they love their city, but the safety is something that cannot be taken lightly. So if you are in Rio, definitely take precautions. Hang out in neighborhoods like Ipanema, Botafogo, Copacabana, Baja. And if you do go out to like more dangerous neighborhoods, like for example, when you go to Lapa, where you might end up for like a party or something, I, for example, brought a special Android phone for that. And it's like less than $100. If someone steals it, I won't feel that bad. So definitely take precautions like that. Precautions like, you know, try to live in a building which has security. Don't use your phone on the street in any neighborhood if you can. Like, people still snatch phones. That can happen anywhere. And yeah, share location with friends. Like, just take all of those basic precautions. So now I have to go catch my flight, leave to Sao Paulo. It's a very sad day for me. It's been 6 weeks in this beautiful city. But that's it for this video. I hope some of you make up your mind and actually come to Rio and work from here. Bye.